group, what's kind of the outlook going into practice tomorrow, and how excited are you to kind of, see what you have as a new coach here and stuff?
I think what we're looking for this camp is to develop some depth with some of the younger guys who has not played as much. We have good experience up front. I mean, with starting off with the first three, with Moa, with Louie, and with Durant. I mean, those guys are established dudes, and so is Chad Kauha'aha'a and Matt Locker, and even Manny Facili. So we got a good two deep right now, but I think we need to develop that third group so we can get some good rotation going in and out with the guys. So I think Coyote Rufai is going to be heavy. It's going to be important that he has a good camp. And I think, finding that third nose guard, whether it be Paul Siemens or it's Scale or Keegan, one of those guys, we need to find that third guy to step up. And I think Paul, who's a senior, and I think he has a lot to prove to us, because I think he can play multiple spots for us, in that third spot right now with playing nose and tackle. So I think developing that third spot for nose and tackle is going to be huge. I think spring ball was good for Coyote Rufai because Durant was out, and then Chad Kauha'aha'a went halfway through spring and he ended up tweaking his ankle. So Yodi ended up taking a whole bunch of reps and took full advantage of it.
With David Moa, I don't know how much you go back and look at the tape from last year and stuff, but you obviously came into the year with big expectations after putting up big numbers 2 years ago. The numbers I know were down a little bit. I mean, was that more just of the way defenses were playing him, or did he not have the same production or offenses were playing him, or was it just not the same production level? Or what did you see from David, and what do you kind of see as a senior, where he can kind of take that next step?
I think with David, what happened was he probably caught everybody by surprise that 1 year he blew up, and then I've seen this happen before where you get the second year blues a little bit, and people know who you are. There's no hiding you, and there's no surprises. And offenses will scheme you up a little bit different, And I think David moved positions. He played a lot of nose his first year, which is.
And no one really talks about that either.
No, and he gave a lot of people trouble. And then moving to tackle was a whole different deal. But I think it was better for the defense in regards to him being in that spot, being a little bit more stout in the run, and getting a little bit more push at that tackle position to help out guys like Jabril and Curtis, and even the defensive ends on the opposite side. So I think he balanced out the defense a little bit more last year, which obviously, even coming in, Coach Avalos told me that David's numbers need to improve. And so, he knows that, I know that, and I think when we went through spring ball, he was very productive during spring ball, but I think he's got to turn it loose in fall camp.
With Durant, he's kind of a quiet guy that just, maybe doesn't get the headlines or the attention, but you look and he puts up solid numbers, and how do you kind of look at him? And obviously, he's married, and he's an older guy, he's mature, you probably don't have to worry about him off the field. What do you kind of see from Durant and kind of as a senior for him and his kind of ceiling this year?
Durant's leadership is amazing for us. I mean, he didn't practice in spring ball at all, but you would think he was, on how vocal he was, how involved he was with the group. So, I mean, the way Durant prepares already, I mean, that's why he is who he is. I mean, he's not going to be some huge standout. He's not some flashy dude, but he prepares the right way. And it showed in spring when he was rehabbing his shoulder. I mean, he was super focused. I mean, he did everything and anything that the trainers told him to do to make sure he was getting himself right. And then when they did clear him to do certain things, I mean, he was in there doing drills with us to a certain point, So just his leadership, I think, is huge for us as a D-line. But just being able to coach a guy he's going to be another coach on the field. That's what I like about Durant.
What about Louie? I mean, we see him at practice sometimes talking trash to his guys during some of the competition drills and run it at this guy, or whatever. He just seems like he's like obviously a guy that enjoys playing the game, and he's outspoken. I know he was dealing with an injury or something last year at times too. But what's kind of what do you want to see from him this year?
Well, You know, I think with Louie's one of those guys who talks trash and he has fun. It's like a fun trash talking. It's not like real serious when he does it. So, what do I want to see out of Louie is I want him to hold it down in the middle. I think he's shown he can do that. He's a stout nose guard, play from A-gap to A-gap. I think what's got to improve with Louie to make him complete is he's got to step it up in his pass rush. He's got to be more of a weapon in pass rush, and he can do that. You know, Louie's a big dude that's 310 pounds, but he's so light on his feet, and he needs to give us a little bit more in the passing game. Now, his job is to stop the run. We know that, but to be a well-rounded nose guard, to be to take the step that to get to the next level, he needs to improve on that pass rush, and he's been working on it, man. We've been working his hips, we've been working his hand coordination, eye-hand coordination. So, he's coming around to that.
Last thing, I mean, you feel like you're coming into a pretty good situation. I mean, you have your returning starters, you have some depth already. I mean, you got to feel there could be worse, opportunities to come into for your first year.
I was with the new jobs I've had. I was fortunate enough to inherit some pretty good groups, and my job is not to screw it up. You know,
you kind of feel that way though a little bit. I mean, you obviously want to get them better, but I mean, it is nice. You'd rather have 3 returning starters than no returning starters.
No. My job is to get them better, better than they were last year. There's no pressure. I've been doing this for a little bit, and I've had some really good D lines. I've had D lines where the 2 deep or in the NFL, all NFL guys, they made it to NFL camps or they're still playing, and it was that way at Wisconsin too. But I feel the same way here. But the goal is to get them better than they were last year, and Coach Caldwell did a great job with them. So now I got to take it to the next step.